And every writer, director, actor, producer, movie star was coming to this little theater to see me do this thing because it became the hottest property in LA since Rocky. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, I get offered $250,000. Now I got no money. They said $250,000, and I'm like real excited on the phone, right? I go, yeah, great. I said, I want to play Sonny and I want to write the screenplay. And they went, no. We just want the script. We want to buy the rights. And I said, no. I got to. They said, no, it's out. I said, well, I'm sorry. They said, well, you got no deal. Hung up. And everybody
You walked away from 250 grand?
250 grand. With
And you had nothing.
Had $200 in the bank.
And you walk away from 250?
Yeah.
Now, that goes under, you gotta have balls.
Yes, and you know what's funny? I was so, and that hurt me, that one. That really hurt me. Because that was the one, because I'll tell you how it goes, but that was the one that was the hardest to turn down.
That's a lot of money. I mean,
Was the 250. I don't know why, because it came out of nowhere. And I was just like, and I kept thinking, what, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I said, no, I want to play Sonny. And I kept going, and crowds kept getting bigger. We moved into a bigger theater. I kept selling that theater out. And I said, no, I believe I'm going to do this. And then finally, they called back, and they offered me $500,000. In Hollywood, when you say no, they just think, well, he wants more money. That's all that is. So they gave me they offered $500. And again, I said, I play Sonny, I write the screenplay. Again, they said no. I said, not doing it. Left. Started doing it again. So I signed with William Morris. Everybody was after me. William Morris, ICM, Ovitz at CAA. But I signed with William Morris. And they said, look, we got another offer. They want us to come in about a week. I said, okay. I said, but you know how I feel about this. I said, okay. We went in, we sat down at a round table with about 12 people. And the guy pushes a paper towards me and says, Chazz, if you sign that paper, you'll have a check tomorrow for $1 million. And I just looked at him. My agent's here, my other agent's there. And the first words out of my mouth were, is there a bathroom here? And he said, oh yeah, there's the executive bathroom right over there. I said, I'll be right back. Everybody just looked at me like, what? I get up, I walk into the bathroom. I'm by myself in there. And I'm washing my hands, and put water on my face, and I'm going, $1 million. I mean, that's a lot of money to a kid from the Bronx, And I put my hand in my pocket, and my father's card is there. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent. I took it with me. Why? I never know. For the first time, I took it with me. I never took it off. For some reason, I took it with me. I don't know. And I look in the mirror, and I went, okay. And I went back outside, and I sat down at the table, and I said, I'll sign that paper. And they all kind of had a smirk on their face. I said, but I play Sonny, and I write the screenplay. And they put their heads down, and he said, Chazz, you're a wonderful actor, but you're not a star. We need a star to play this part of Sonny. And we need a star to direct it and a big writer to write the screenplay. I said, well, it's not a deal then. Sorry. And I got up, and once you stand up at a meeting, the meeting's over. So my agent stood up with me. They're looking at me like, oh my God, this kid's crazy. And I just said, thank you very much. And the guy says, you're going to really turn this down, he said to me. I said, yeah. He says, this movie will never get made. You know that, right? And I said, you're right, it will get made. I said, you're right, it will get made. I go, you're right, it won't get made with you, but it will get made. And he said, what makes you so sure? And I said, because it's too good. Somebody will make it sooner or later. And I left, walked out, started doing it again, and 2 weeks later I did the show. I got off the stage, and the stage manager comes over to me and says, hey, Robert De Niro is in your dressing room.
Just casually walking by, or?
I don't know. I go, what do you mean he's in my dressing room? He goes, he just saw the show, and he's going to meet you in your dressing room. So I left the front of the theater, and I went down to my dressing room, and there's Bob De Niro sitting in a chair. I said, hey, how you doing? And
First time you ever met him, I assume?
Never met him before.
You were hyped up?
Well, yeah, I was excited to meet this icon, this legend, really.
Very cool.
So I said, hey, how you doing? He goes, good. He goes, wow, He goes, that's the greatest one-man show I ever saw. He goes, you did a movie. How'd you do that? He goes, you did 18 parts. And I said, yeah. He goes, wow. He goes, listen, here's what I want to do. And now this is how crazy I was. I said, well, Bob, listen, before you say anything, I want you to know. He goes, I know. You want to play Sonny. You want to write the screenplay. I know all about it. Everybody in Hollywood knows. He goes, but let me tell you how I feel. I said, okay. He said, you should play Sonny. You'll be great as Sonny. And you should write the screenplay because it'll be honest. It'll be real because it's about your life. He goes, I want to play your father, and I'll direct it. And if you shake my hand, that's the way it'll be. You have my word. I shook his hand, and that's what happened.
And how much money did you get up front?
$1.5 million.